Hey, I wasn't planning to start a video like this, but the very first time I switched on the Alienware AW2725DF, I didn't just look at the screen. I felt a difference. Not because of numbers on paper, but because motion finally stayed where it belonged, in the moment with you. This is for the kind of person who's noticed when frames blur in fast scenes, when small details get lost in shadows, when every match starts with a tiny hitch instead of confidence. You don't just want specs, you want presence. You know there's a difference between something that looks fine and something that feels alive. Before anything else, take a minute and check the current price and availability. Monitors this capable don't sit at the same pricing forever. You knew it was time to upgrade when your old display kept up but never truly clicked. Every pivotal moment in a game felt like it was asking for more clarity, more fluidity, more real connection. You didn't dislike it. You just quietly outgrew it, one compromised frame at a time. The relief hits instantly with this panel. Once you set motion into that 360 Hz rhythm, it's not just fast, it's fluid. Those rapid flicks, quick pivots, and tight turns no longer leave blur behind. With a 0.03 milliseconds response, each action feels intentional and immediate, like your inputs and the visuals are finally speaking the same language. Once you feel that level of responsiveness, anything slower feels like watching through a veil instead of being in the moment. Picture this: you're in a high-stakes shooter and every glance, every turn, every flash stays crisp and confident instead of smeared. You're deep in a competitive match and motion just flows, not stutters. Even everyday visuals, menus, apps, video playback, feel grounded and sharp because this display doesn't just show frames, it holds them. And if you're wondering whether FreeSync Premium Pro really matters, let that doubt fade. This isn't marketing jargon, it's real smoothness. Screen tears and stutters don't interrupt your flow. You don't settle for uneven motion, you get coordinated frames that feel consistent and controlled. Here's something you don't expect at first: color and contrast that actually feel balanced in fast action. Quantum-Dot depth means vibrant visuals without washed-out tones. Shadows don't hide detail, highlights don't glare out information, everything stays anchored and intentional. That's one of those subtle benefits you don't realize you're missing until it's finally in front of you. Owning something like this changes how you approach gaming. You don't cope with flicker or blur anymore, you expect fluid clarity. You don't lower settings to avoid churn, you choose them because the monitor handles every detail confidently. There's a quiet satisfaction that comes from knowing your setup doesn't just show visuals, it performs them the way you always hoped. Motion that feels smooth and immediate responsiveness that's sharp and sure, visuals that stay clear under pressure, fluid play that doesn't interrupt focus, a display built to elevate your reaction. Not the most entry-level choice, requires a setup that fits its quality. At some point you stop comparing weaker panels and choose what genuinely resonates with how you play. Don't let this be one of those upgrades you think about later and wish you hadn't done sooner. Check the price now, trust the instinct that brought you here, and step into visuals that finally feel alive.